Hi, my name is Kate Halligan, and this PowerPoint talks about the reproductive system. First off, we're going to start off with the female reproductive system. There are 4 functions of the system. They're responsible for producing egg and sperm cells. They also transport and sustain the egg and sperm cells. They nurture to develop the fetus, and they produce hormones. The system has internal organs and external organs. Sexual maturation is a process that undergoes so that the process of pregnancy and birth is able. Primary versus secondary. Primary organs of the system are the ovaries, and then the accessory ones are the oviduct, the breast, the vagina, and the uterus. The organs of the female system. The internal organs are the vagina, uterus, fallopian tubes, and ovaries. The external are the mons pubis, the labia majora, the labia minor, the Bartholin glands, and the clitoris. And you can see here, clitoris is right here, labia majora is right here, minor, urethra, right there, the rectum, uterus, the ovaries, and then the bladder. And then the mons pubis is right here. The genital tract is where the organs of the internal part of the reproductive system form a pathway. The vagina is where the birth canal is located. This is also where a male will deliver its sperm. That's how, a baby emerges. This is also where the embryo will develop into a fetus. The fallopian tubes can be called the oviducts. This is where the sperm will fertilize an egg. Ovaries is where it produces and releases the eggs. Internal organs. The first one is a vagina. It's a tube-like organ that is muscular, and it's about 4 to 5 inches long. When the woman is fully matured as an adult. This is where intercourse occurs between a male and a female. The vagina is a passage for male sperm to go to the egg. This is also where the menstrual bleeding will occur, and it's also where how the baby goes to the outside. The lining of the vagina is a mucous membrane, and it has small fluids that discharge, and it's clear or milky, and it comes out of the vagina. This is still the internal organs. The uterus is a thick wall that is shaped like a pear and muscular. It can be located behind the bladder, but in front of the rectum, and so it's right in the middle of the pelvis. Main function is to making sure that the development of the fetus is sustained, and it has a cervix and a corpus. So the cervix is on the lower part of the uterus, and it goes to the upper vagina area. A smooth mucous membrane. It also helps for a barrier against bacteria, unless there is a dealing with the egg that's being released. Corpus is very muscular, and it will change as the fetus grows. So as the fetus gets bigger, the corpus will expand. It pushes the baby out during labor, and then the endometrium is responsible for the lining, and it is thick. The fallopian tubes are 5 inches long. As you can see, they're right here. They're on both sides. They go from the edges of the uterus onto the ovaries. So you can see the uterus, and then it goes to the ovaries. it's an egg that is released from the ovary and will guide the egg into a large opening called the fallopian tube. So you can see it will go right here and then through. The lining is consisted of cilia, which is hair-like projections. And then the ovaries are, you can see right here, they're about a walnut size. And they're pearl colored. You can see that it's attached at the uterus. And it's connected with ligaments. And then the hormones that it produces is estrogen and progesterone. And then oocytes are what develops eggs, and oocytes also have phosphates. So now the external organs. With the external organs, there are three main functions. The first is being allowed the sperm to enter the body. It also protects the internal organs from any infections. It also allows for sexual pleasure. The mons pubis is round and fatty tissue that covers the pubic bone. After puberty, it will be covered in hair. It also has the sebaceous gland, which will release pheromones, which are helps with sexual attraction. So the first one we're going to talk about is the labia majora. You can see right here that they're the large lips that fold. It encloses so that it can help the organs. It has two glands involved, the sweat glands and the sebaceous glands. So then the labia minora is right here. The small lips that lie inside the majora, so you can see that's here and then here. It surrounds the vagina and the urethra. It's pink because of the blood vessels. And then while there's sexual stimulation, the blood vessels will have huge amounts of blood, and it causes it to swell and be more sensitive. And then the Bartholin gland is located in the vaginal opening right here, and it will secrete fluid that's also called lubrication, and that happens during intercourse. Lastly, the clitoris is located in the upper end of the labia minora at a small it is sensitive and can erect. That's something that a lot of people don't know. And then when stimulation occurs in the clitoris, it can cause an orgasm. Accessory organs. The breast is a function to help give milk to their infants. The gland is the mammary gland, which is how breast milk is produced. The areola, you can see, is right here. It's a circular shaped, and depending on body size and shape and everything like that, it will change. People have different sizes. During our menstrual cycle, the levels of progesterone and estrogen will change. So the hormones involved. The FSH is responsible for stimulation of egg cell development. LH is responsible for the development of the ova, along with starting the processes of ovulation and stimulation. Then progesterone is the sex hormone that is produced during ovulation every month, and it also helps thicken the uterus lining for a fertilized egg. Estrogen helps with the female development, and ovaries release this every month during the menstrual cycle. So other body parts involved, the hypothalamus is an area in the brain, so you can see that starts here, and then it's going to go to the pituitary gland. This is where the LH and the FSH are, and then it goes down to the ovaries, and that's the estrogen and progesterone. So now the male reproductive system. Unlike the female, most of their organs involved with this system are on the outside of the body. The external organs are the penis, scrotum, and testicle. Why are they important? Because it helps the sperm be produced and it helps maintain and transport the sperm as well. It also has a protective fluid, which is also known as semen. The sperm will discharge inside the female tract, and then the sex hormones are produced and also secreted here. The external structures, the penis is what you use during intercourse. There's 3 parts. The root, which is what attaches to the wall of the abdomen, the body or the shaft, and then the glans is a cone shaped at the end of the penis. And this is where skin is there, and it's called foreskin. Some people get it circumcised, some people don't. And then the urethra is a tube where the urine is carried from the bladder to the body. It also blocks the urine from coming out when the penis is erect. External structures continue. The scrotum is a loose pouch, and it's a sac of skin. It will hang behind the penis, and this is where the testes are located inside the scrotum. There are also nerves and blood vessels that are here. The testes will be at a cooler temp so that the development of sperm is possible. Muscles will tighten and relax so the testicles can be warmer by getting closer to the body. When they are too hot, they will loosen and move further to cool them back down. Testicles are also known as testes. They are oval shaped, and those are located inside the scrotum. Each male has 2 sets of testes, and this is what's responsible for making testosterone. Testosterone is a sex hormone. It's one of the main ones for men. Testosterone is responsible for producing sperm. And then the seminiferous tubules produces the sperm cells by using a process that's called spermatogenesis. External organs continue. The epididymis is a tube along the coil, which is found on the back side of the testes. It's responsible for storing and carrying the cells of sperms that were created inside the testes. It is also responsible for making the sperm mature so that fertilization is possible. And then when there is arousal, it will force the sperm to go down into the vas deferens. So the internal organs involved are all considered accessory glands. The vas deferens is the tube that we just talked about from the epididymis to the pelvic cavity. This is responsible for transporting the sperm that had been matured, and it goes to the urethra, and then it will be ejaculated out. The ejaculatory ducts are created by seminal vessel and the vas deferens, and they empty into the urethra. The urethra is responsible for carrying the urine down the tube to the outside of our body. It also ejaculates semen during an orgasm. As a man is orgasming, the urine won't be able to go through. It's blocked because of the erection. The seminal vessel sac-like pouches are found near the base of the bladder and attached to the vas deferens. Fructose is also produced here. It's a sugar fluid. That's what gives the sperm energy. It also helps sperm with being able to move. It makes the majority of the volume for fluid that is ejaculated. The prostate gland is located beneath the bladder but in front of the rectum. It gives other part of the fluid for ejaculation. It also is what gives sperm nutrition or nourishment. The urethra will go through the prostate gland. And then the bulbourethral gland is also known as the Cowper's gland. It produces a clear fluid that is in the urethra, and it's also a lubricant for the urethra and also helps with keeping the acidity neutral.